Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Monday noon for me here on the Pacific Coast. How's everyone doing? Hi, Katie.
Hi.
How are you doing? It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
So anyone who's new, hello and welcome to Intera Talk. And oh my gosh, what's on my screen here? What just happened? Stop sharing. Okay. Welcome to Intero Talk, where we discuss our personal opinions. Yes, they're just our personal opinions about interrogation videos. And we've been going over the interrogation or police interview from July of 2014 of Wendy Adelson, the day of her ex-husband's murder, Dan Markel. And he actually didn't technically, unfortunately, pass until later on. So I believe his death certificate might say the 19th. But don't hold me to that one. So in any case, Katie, you know what I did over the weekend? Among other things, while I've been nursing.
What did you do?
Nursing my headache and all that. I watched the Casey Anthony thing on Peacock. Did you see that?
No, I refuse to.
I know. There are certain things I refuse. And I wasn't going to, but then the behavior panel was talking about her. And I was like, okay, let me see. Because I feel like I can learn so much from them, and then when anything happens to a child, I just it's a problem for me. I did that, and then I also listened to Jeff, whose name just came up in this interrogation. I listened to his police interviews. There were 3.
Oh,
just to refresh my memory.
yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I even listened to all of his. I think I did. I mean, it's been so long, this trial, this case is multifaceted and has been going on for quite some time. So,
yeah.
So I started doing some shorts from Jeff's police interviews. I started, my first one went out, I think, last night as kind of a surprise.
Yay. I'll have to look at that.
So it's interesting for me because now we're approaching July 18th, 2014. It's about 6 p.m. and Isom, Jane was, if you were with us previously, or if you know the case, Jane was previously in the interrogation room with Wendy. Isom asked her to leave, and he wants to come and talk about this Jeffrey guy that Jane basically said, I believe she said he should be somebody you'd want to talk to because such a jealous guy. So poor guy. It's like, I think he was fairly normal in that regard, but he did say, well, if we ever get around to his interrogation, you'll hear him say, no, she was clearly cheating. She clearly was. So that can kind of make somebody upset. I don't know if I'd call that jealous. I would just call that annoyed, maybe.
Human.
Why do it? So are you ready to get started on this again?
Well, hold on. Did you learn anything from the Casey Anthony documentary? Like, is it worth watching? I think she did it. I think everybody thinks she did it.
Yeah, but what I try to learn, it's not just did she did it and did she not do it here, especially with the behavior panel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to spot certain behaviors so that I can apply that to my life and learn how to be more discerning about potentially common, not always, but potentially common tells, that could say somebody's lying or not being, genuine, or maybe even has mental disorder or a personality disorder.
Yeah.
Not that I'm can do that. Not that anyone can do that foolproof 100%. The cool thing about the behavior panel is that they recognize that a lot of people can just do this innately. A lot of people can read people just one of the guys
Okay.
on that four gentleman panel said that's most of his stuff is just his gut.
Yeah.
And what a great skill to have and to teach others, especially if you have
Mhm.
children. So I don't really,
Yes.
like run in the next direction. And one of the things I spotted from Casey Anthony just right off of the bat was this deep frown line that she has in her eyebrows, kind of like Lori Dave.
I feel like I have that. Yep.
But really, no. We all have some of that. I mean, I'm 61 years old. I'm going to have some of that. But that's what Botox does. It kind of smooths that out. But I don't like Botox because then it makes your eyebrows go like that and you look a monster. But in any case, I just saw a hardened look, very similar. Right off the bat, I was like, she reminds me of Lori Daybell, whatever is this week. By the way, that trial has now been set for April, if you're interested.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, a lot of her things just don't add up. So it's not even body language. She's very polished. She's a very good liar, is honestly, and very comfortable with it, which is really a frightening tool that a lot of people have. She's not like, well, she's like, I can see why people would believe her.
Yeesh. Okay.
But I don't think most people do because the facts get in the way.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and so that's, and so a lot of people, so that's why I love to look at body language and what people are really saying, not just their body language, but their actual words. Did you really hear that? Because sometimes you have to listen like 5 times to hear something. It's really subtle. Or to be like, oh yeah, she was nodding this way, but yeah. And then what I learned from, and the behavior panel did a piece on her, so it's like, okay, I'm going to go back because I remember the trial and all that, but I really wasn't. Crimes against children is something I just really can't with. So, I mean, crimes in general, I'm really not crazy about. I don't know how I started doing this, but I think thanks to the behavior panel, now I'm like looking at interrogation videos and stuff because it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that trial was like my first dip into the true crime world. I'll never forget when they said not guilty. I will never forget that moment because I still can't believe that.
Yeah, it is hard to believe.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to give people a lot of benefit of the doubt, maybe a little more than I should. I'm not super trusting. I'm not like a dodo about it. I'm like, well, I want to hear everything first. I don't want to I don't like to judge people basically harshly. Unless I'm asked. If I want a jury, I mean, I'd be all in, I'd be looking at everything. And juries are allowed to look at their behavior and read between the lines. And that's part of it. So,
and you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and apparently the prosecution didn't do that. So,
an observation station. Welcome to the live show. Yeah, me neither. I cannot listen to a podcast crime show if it's about children. Yeah. That just, And I will say one of the reasons I'm probably super interested in this case is because my heart really does go out to the children. All the children. They were Dan's children especially. He loved those boys. They loved him. And he was just erased from their life.
Literally.
In a couple second gunshot decision. And so many opportunities for the off ramp with these guys. And then when you hear about Jeff, which we'll hear about today on Wendy's interrogation, Wendy's side of things, you think, I don't know if he could have done anything or not, but he said, I believe it was within the week of Dan's murder that Wendy said to him, and this will be out in some videos I've got coming up, that she said, could I confide in you? And in a hushed tone, And he said it was extremely chilling because she did say, yeah, my brother looked into hiring a hitman, and it was right, an admission. It wasn't an admission, we're doing it Friday or any of that, but there's a lot of weird coincidence and stuff that comes. A lot of people wonder if maybe she was trying for Jeff to take the fall for this.
Initially. Oh, man.
Yeah, because he had a trip planned that Friday at around 11. He was supposed to be driving out of town.
Yeah.
But luckily he left
a day early.
Oh, Chris Watts. Yeah.
I just listened to a podcast about that one. Ugh. Yeah.
So what's going on with the Murdoch trial before we go? Anything new?
Oh, no, there was just a crazy hearing. Did you watch it?
I did watch the hearing over the weekend too. I've been like really resting up for a few days, about 5 days here, because my headache has just been out of control. So I got a lot of YouTube time in.
Yeah.
And football.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
He got to come in without shackles, so I guess that was a win for the defense. Like, that was a big thing on whether or not he should be shackled. I mean, of course he should be. He's in prison, not on bond.
Right.
Of course he should be shackled just like every other priser. I don't know. And then just listening to them. What's that?
Until the trial? Until the trial, or?
Yeah, they think he's, for appearances, he shouldn't have to be shackled. I don't know why, but yeah. But hearing, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go.
Oh, I was just going to say, hearing the state lay out the motive, it just makes you sick. Like, he literally killed his wife and son to try and cover up people looking into his financial crimes, because it would garner him sympathy. His wife and son died. It would garner him sympathy, and they would say, hey, oh, poor Alex, we're not going to look into this.
Right.
It's so
And
disgusting.
It worked. It worked temporarily.
It did.
That's what came out of the hearing. It worked.
Yeah. Because he murdered them the day that his law firm came to him and said, hey, we're missing a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, oh, I got a phone call. My dad's sick. I got to go. Yeah. So before they could fire him or anything or get more into it, and then that night he murdered his wife. And I honestly don't think he had planned to murder Paul. I think he just literally got in the way. He happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I don't know. I'm still wondering if he had someone help him and it was prior planned. I haven't, the jury's still out in my mind on that one. Yeah. 2 guns. It's just weird. It's just weird. And
yeah,
it's interesting that there wasn't, I mean, if he did both of those things, you would think he would have been literally covered in evidence. And I don't even want to discuss the evidence they're talking about. It's so horrid.
Yeah.
Of his son and his wife, especially his son, because it was done inside of a closed room. So we'll see. But one of the things I thought was super profound beyond all that really extreme thing is just they had to discuss, and this is so profound and so worth remembering throughout. They discussed in this hearing whether Alex's grandfather's portrait should be removed from the courthouse during this trial so as not to taint the jury and others watching. So, I mean, this should show you a lot about the power that is in
the Murdochs have.
That is in play in that area. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're going on 90 years. Up until Alex's dad passed away, it had been 90 years of one of the Murdoch generations being the solicitor, which is essentially a DA, the county DA.
Right.
So it's a lot of power.
It's really, really, really something else. All right. Well, we're going to be covering that. Yeah. We're going to, and if anyone watching, or Katie, if you come across anything like phone calls or interrogations or anything where somebody has testified, we can look at that in terms of what are they really saying? I think that's why I called this show Interro Talk. It's not really, are they guilty, not guilty? I mean, we're always going to say they're guilty or not guilty. I mean, we're human, right? Yeah. And someone who was commenting on, I had one short go out with Jeffrey LaCasse for the first time, some of his words, and someone felt like we were, or maybe somebody else in the comments was condemning him because, you know, he didn't see this coming and he was in he's a mental health professor and things like that. Like, why didn't he know? Well, you'll hear it if we get to that next, to Jeffrey LaCasse. But or when we get it, or if you watch the shorts. But I don't think anyone's condemning anyone. I would love for everybody to come forth and tell the truth and have their day in court. And, we can't say if somebody's guilty or not guilty. Again, we're just using our own spidey senses, right? So, yeah. But it should be interesting, and it'll be interesting. And if you, as an audience, and Katie, of course, if you would like to weigh in on what we do next after this, because we're at 6:00, so we're on the home stretch of this interrogation. So we're going to have to go to something next. We could go to a different case, or we could go to more on this case, because there's a lot more coming. Oh, and by the way, Charlie Adelson, his hearing, his case management hearing is Friday. I mean, I think it's the 16th. I believe it's at 11 a.m.
Okay.
It was postponed. Could be probably because Katie McManawa came forth as a state witness, but also his lawyer broke his ankle playing tennis, I think, or something along those lines. So he was in a lot of pain and on crutches and all that. So, but that's coming up Friday. So hopefully you can enjoy the tidbits from this video. Until then, it's probably going to be a long video. We tend to go long. So, all right. So let's start where we left off at 6:01.
Sticking up, bending over, getting the seats. I was like, I'm sure 7th Avenue was loving this.
Did you see all the Cheerios that are in that car?
We did. At least
I know it's there. I meant to clean the car this week. No, I'm glad I didn't, because it would look like I was trying to erase the crime scene.
Well, and the funny thing was we said,
yeah, I meant to clean the car, but it would have looked like I was trying to erase a crime scene. Who says that? Who says that?
I still can't believe she said
I know. She says a lot here.
She says so much. And one kid is long and skinny.
So when they get in and it doesn't fit, they'll have to figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
Because as we were walking out,
Wendy wants to be so lovable to everyone.
Really
Such a socialite.
She was great. And, Alan was like, because I was very cryptic with him on the phone. I just don't want to tell him. He's like, do I need to come up there? I'm like,
that sounds like Alan.
He said everything's fine.
That's a good imitation.
I was like, she's all right. He's like, okay. So,
but you told him that Danny was.
I told Lynn more than I told him.
Okay.
Just because it was on the phone. So I'm sure when Lynn left here, she called. So.
Am I just gonna be here for like hours?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they're just, quite honestly, waiting on the phone. Remember how we told you they put it on the machine?
Yeah, that he had to.
Right.
Yeah.
Don, I think we're quite a bit past this.
I mean, what's on there?
Oh.
Yeah.
As far as if you have lots
Dude,
of kids.
Isom's going to come in next.
Why not use someone else's?
Okay.
I'm going to keep going. I know I was going to fast forward it, but some people say I don't like it when you fast forward. I usually only fast forward if we've already.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason our voices are louder than her voice, I have her on maximum, and I know Mentor Lawyer actually did as best as he could to make the volume as high as he could. Is the audio quality for her is just not going to ever be the same as the audio quality for us. And we don't want to be too soft either. They're like, well, maybe you could be softer, but that's really hard to regulate. I would love to have a solution. My only solution is put the CC captions on.
Oh.
And read it instead of listening, or as you're listening or something like that. I've done things like that when I've watched. Okay, and I will speed up because she's alone until he gets here, and I think he gets here pretty quick. Maybe it was 6:05, not 6:03. I thought it was 6:03.
Well, we had kind of started listening to her talk about LaCasse because I remember her saying how she had been dating a guy and then they were dating together at the same time.
To Isom?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, let me look right now. Maybe I thought I looked last week, so let me just look. And if anyone's new to this, we have a playlist. It's called Interro Talk. And you cannot get all caught up. I know a lot of people were getting caught up this weekend and a lot of comments on older videos. So that's cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so when I go all the way to the end, 5:21. That can't be right. I think it took me off the right video. Sorry. She's still waiting for Isom to come back again. Jane has left. Jane has left the building. She was kicked out. Here comes Isom.
How you doing?
How
All right.
are you doing?
How are
I feel
you?
like my head's about to explode.
Oh, I do remember this.
Okay, I need to find out this number here, 6,800.
That's Danny's number. Wait, 6,800. 202.
8,200.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
same here. I'm just going through. These are phone calls that you made.
Yeah.
Charlie's your brother?
Yeah. I'm not gonna call any like weird sex hotlines or anything. That's pretty
That's okay. We've seen that
really
before.
embarrassing.
That's all right.
Okay,
I
it was
remember that
Check
too.
with yourself.
Oh,
30. Okay,
6:30.
thank you.
FSU.
It's a Monday.
No, it was a Sunday. And then the 14th was the night I went to yoga and he came
Yes.
and seemed to want to like go out a lot the rest of the week. And I just knew I needed some headspace to figure out what to do.
She says he wants to go out a lot
The
the rest of
13th,
the
you
week.
went out with Jeff, went to a movie. The 14th, you went to yoga. He went to yoga.
Yeah.
But no discussion. Oh, no, you email him later.
And say just I'd like a week off.
It was a no contact order.
And I'm sure, I mean, I don't know.
That's
if I can
right.
Find it in my phone. It'll be in my email track of what I
Not, I just like a week off. A little different.
Yes.
And then basically to Jeff saying, I want some time.
I just need a
He
little
doesn't
space.
respond, but he brings up gifts on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
But you'd had no contact since the yoga on Monday night.
None.
None.
Nothing, no contact at all
No
since.
text, no email. I told him, I said no text, no email, no nothing. Like
Is Jeff a violent person?
No,
Not at all.
no,
Jeff own a gun?
I don't think so. I mean, my guess would be like 100% no, but I guess I was only in his house one time. I mean, he certainly could have a gun and I wouldn't know about it, but he never
Lives by himself.
lives by himself. He'd never talked to me about a gun.
Okay.
I mean, he was in the military, so
Oh, he was in the military before?
yeah, he grew up in California. His dad was in the Air Force, and then he was in the Air Force and ended up in Eglin Air Force Base. And he started going to community college and took classes and was really bright and ended up doing a PhD here at FSU and then taught in Arizona and then just got rehired here. Not rehired, but like hired. And that's how Jane knows him, is she's doing a PhD in social work and Jeff is a professor in social work.
How does she know all these little details?
I want to get a picture just.
About Jeff?
Yeah, like
He's
just
actually,
the details again of her.
yeah.
She grew up in this town, and his dad was in the Air Force, and then he joined the Air Force, and then he was at this base, and then he came here, and like, it's just crazy.
Right. Especially if you're under that kind of stress and you just found out your ex-husband was shot in the driveway where your children spend half of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does rattle off a lot of details, but she did remember she had that thinking time. We showed her thinking.
That's right. Yep.
So she was
That
trying
alone time.
Yeah. I mean, again, me personally, I would have been like, can we talk about this later? I can't deal with this right now.
To confirm I'm not talking about the right person.
I probably have one on my
Sure.
phone. And you can find him on
So wait a minute, she has her phone now?
FSU.
Yeah.
Wait,
How long has he been back at FSU?
Since August.
And you all met through Jane?
Yeah. No, I just have pictures of my kids.
I want to make sure everyone knows I'm suffering.
Oh,
Ugh,
And these are,
in the face.
this is from my dad's 70th birthday with my mom and dad and my boys and me.
Wow.
sorry.
Like we're at a dinner party.
I'm just gonna show you all my
Everything
pictures.
on Sunday.
Let's go with this.
The boys boys have blue eyes. Danny has blue eyes too.
He likes those blue eyes.
He just loved individuals.
Not bad. Maybe that's why she wore the blue contacts.
Definitely.
Right, to look like the family.
I'll go see if I can get
Oh, I wanted to call my parents.
Yeah.
Should I wait?
just for a couple minutes more. I'm just gonna get a picture so I know that I'm talking about the right person.
Okay.
It'll come from a database.
Okay. I can listen to messages.
Sounds like to me came in here and he yelled my attention from.
Right.
Is that me?
No, it's the
Okay.
video.
Okay.
I mean, I can isolate it and make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's the video.
Okay.
This reminds me of the Charlie Brown shows. You just hear the
Well, not strange. It's
And unfortunately, you're probably going to be
getting so many
inundated.
calls. So Tracy Cohen was like this woman that I was really, really good friends with, and she and her husband live on Trescott down the street. They've got 2 little girls. And she was one person. She's the one person that it just really hurt my feelings. That after the divorce, I felt like she kind of took Danny's side. I think I've been calling from Park City, Utah. Oh, I've got a message from them. Anyway, so she was calling because she's like, she heard that she's on Trescott. She said, oh, you heard it, I guess. She said the shooting was, she heard that it was Danny, and she called the hospital and they won't give her any information, and so she wanted to find out. But I wonder, like, Tracy's husband, Jeremy, is a friend of Danny's. I probably should tell them that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
There's just a lot of people, and because I don't know, it makes it difficult sometimes.
Tracy's husband, Jeremy.
Okay, and Tracy's the person that you were just telling me about,
Yeah,
correct?
that I
That
just felt
it was
sad.
kind of felt a little bit hurt when.
Her husband,
I just
Jeremy,
this pause.
is friendly with Danny.
Okay.
This whole conversation is just again bizarre.
Yeah. She
Like-
wants what I notice is never missing an opportunity to point out when somebody hurt her feelings.
Yes,
This dude just got shot. Like, your
but
feelings
it's about her.
can wait. Yeah.
And what are we even doing? Like listening to our messages and stuff.
It's
Like,
from 2 years ago to Tracy kind of hurt my feelings because they took his side. Well, that's what happens when you break up.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then we got to tell our best friend all about this. Like, she's my new best friend, so I just have to tell her
Yeah. And
everything.
Yeah, because they could be sisters.
Well, yeah, because they had the same blue eyes and the same clothes. Oh, okay. Sorry, continue.
I know it's
She lives on Trescott,
Rich.
and I'm just thinking Jeremy might be a good person to know about what's going on. I don't know if there's a good person to know. Like,
But I would say, because we're still trying to work on getting his parents notified,
so do that
just
first.
kind of, and what I'll do is, if you leave there before I have confirmations, before I get to talk to his parents, I got your number, I'll call you as soon as, they know. And obviously it's unfortunate, like things like this do get around, and it's sometimes for your benefit too, because you're gonna start getting
I'm like
inundated, right? And sometimes my suggestion is, if you're comfortable with it, like have someone else man your phone or something like that.
I want to see this. I now have 2
You can
messages from
suggest-
the Utah.
And now she's worried about his friends and what they might think
yeah, even though
5 hours into it.
yeah, and the family hasn't been notified yet, but we really shouldn't tell him until he's dead, right?
Can't
Right.
easily hear
That's
like
so weird.
any. Oh God. He's the academic dean at the law school, and he's saying it's an emergency. I'm guessing it's an emergency because he wants to know what's going on with Danny's. It's not an emergency.
You don't need to talk really to anybody but who you want,
Just listen to these puppies.
not an emergency? If this isn't an emergency, what is?
Lynn called not knowing anything at 4:47 just to chat.
And that might have been before they got in touch with her.
Oh, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but like at a little before 5, she was just calling to shoot the shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not from you.
Okay.
We have to deal with the quality that we get from these interrogations. She's listening to messages right now, observation. Observation station says she's way too cheery, way too calculating. Yes, trying to be syrupy sweet. I got that impression too.
Kind of here.
So she's listening to her voicemail messages, so she does have her phone back at this point.
That's really, she was saying, that was my friend that was at the lunch.
Mhm.
She said, I have a feeling who's behind all of this. She meant like she thought it was Danny's fault that I was there.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Hey, his parents. do I know
Another
anything
friend
about issues?
that's trashing Danny.
We've been working on it. We're trying to get the law.
Tells you a lot about the
enforcement
last few
His
years.
mom,
What she's been
his
up
mom
to.
is a large woman and has some ongoing health issues. I think they're both actually, I mean, they're turning 70 this
Sure.
year, so
Okay.
oh my god, I just
You don't have a number for his sister, do you?
let me see. I might actually. I recently went through my phone and deleted stuff I
Right.
wasn't using, but let me see if I have Shelly. I don't have Shelly.
And it's Shelley Markel.
Markel.
Markel. Is it SHELL?
Why? Just why? I think I have Phil.
Okay.
I do. I have Phil's.
Okay. Because we tried Ruth's number and she didn't answer.
So a lot of times they have a place up north that they go to on the weekends. I don't have that number,
Okay.
but Phil might answer
Okay.
his cell phone. So here's
877.
it's a like he does a lot of business, and so
Okay.
I think it's a like a toll-free number.
Okay.
Let me see if I have Ruth's.
Okay.
If I have like the country house number. You guys are calling that one. Is there any update from the hospital?
I haven't spoken to them.
If people wanted to
I did
know,
speak
or-
with ICU. I spoke with the nurse.
Is that the number you have for Ruth's house? His parents are recently divorced.
Okay.
I think she's at that number.
All right. Obviously, it's something we try to avoid as far as we like to have some.
I'm just going to pause here on this one. Because I think this is really fresh for me. I may or may not have seen this once 6 or some years ago, whatever, a long time ago. She said this woman is saying she spoke to the nurse at ICU. And I've just noticed that Wendy doesn't ask her one single thing about what did that
Nothing.
nurse say? How is he doing? Is he in pain? Can he hear? Can he hear voices? What can he see? What can you tell me? Not any curiosity about Dan's condition.
None. I mean, she did say, "Have you heard from the hospital?" And that's when that lady said, "I spoke to the ICU," and that was it.
Yeah.
Because she said, "Has there been any updates?"
Yes.
I think she just wants to know if he's dead or not.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so. What do you all in the audience think?
Someone make contact in person, but we're just not having any luck right now because we don't have an address. We have business, because I was able to Google stuff and see the business
Yeah, but
stuff.
they're not going to be there.
Right. So this is what we're going to try and do.
Okay.
I am a little disappointed that it's taken the police, I mean, what, they're on 8 hours
Because they want.
of him being shot and they still haven't been able to contact his family?
Right.
That's
I think,
That's a
yeah,
little,
that's a
it's a
bit
little
much.
disappointing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with social media and everything, it's not.
Yeah.
And he got her from lunch. They knew where she was having lunch. So, I
And you
mean,
had her phone. Why didn't you look through her phone when you had it to find the numbers?
yeah, maybe they're not allowed to for privacy, but I know it's
Someone,
Well,
it's
they,
bad.
Anyway.
they need to tell someone, because, eventually he's gonna need someone to make those decisions and stuff.
That's right, Barbara.
it looks bizarre to get these messages of like about book club and
How life kind of sometimes just keeps moving.
like recommending students for jobs and sort of waiting. Oh my god.
Pause for 1 second.
Okay.
Do you think she's looking through her phone right now to see if there's any updates from her brother or Katie or any of them?
I was just gonna say, I was thinking about pausing too. Notice how usually she's looking straight at the person that's in the room because she's trying to make an impression. She's trying to convey details. She's making her googly baby faces and all, her fake crying and what we perceive as kind of dramatic cry. I don't know if it's fake or not. Just my opinion. And
Yeah.
now I've noticed because I'm looking at her body, it's like, yeah, her face is full on attention into that phone.
Yeah.
She's definitely looking for details.
Yes.
She must be ready for anything.
I can't help but feeling like this is all my
So if you're in the audience, let us know what you think she wants to be ready for.
Why would somebody do this, right? Like if I had been still married to him, then there wouldn't be anyone that was angry, right? Like there wouldn't be any kind of disgruntled.
Bam.
Be Amy's husband.
What?
Bam. Another little hidden confession. Not so hidden.
Yeah. If we were still married, nobody would be mad. This would have never happened.
Pretty much. What do you think, everyone? That's like,
Wow.
I should have counted all of the times that she said she's first of all, she can't help but make it about herself.
Yeah.
Okay,
She's a suspect.
That's a personality thing. It's like, it's got to have something to do with me. They're going to come after all this. But now she's saying, yeah, it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have married or unmarried him. Bingo.
Wow.
We agree. It wouldn't have, probably. Your brother is in jail right now.
Yeah.
It can't be a random act of violence. This has to be on purpose. Someone did this for a reason.
So where did she come up with this all of a sudden? Because before she was having to be convinced of that.
Yeah.
Now she's telling her, I mean, usually when the light bulb goes off, it'd be like, okay, nothing like that. It's all going on in her little scheming head.
But this is why I tell everybody, you don't cause people's actions.
Yeah.
You control your actions.
I'm not
You
sure I
can't
agree
control
with
anyone else's.
Ugh.
And I know
I'm
it's
so sure I agree with
hard.
that.
And as you and I kind of talk throughout this process, when time comes, I'll make recommendations for things that might be good for you and for the boys. But right now, let's just kind of deal with tonight.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
Let me I want to send some text sort of canceling my plans. Like I'm
Oh, back to her phone.
Supposed to be at a party by now, so let me tell the person throwing it works at Eva's funeral home.
Okay.
My friend Elizabeth is a mortician. She's the prettiest mortician I've ever met.
OMG.
What did we say I should tell people?
Just say,
Can't
if
make
you want
it
to keep
tonight.
Yeah, just say, I'm very sorry, I can't make it tonight. I'll be in contact soon.
Oh my God, she's a mortician. What?
And say they're doing a stop the bar party.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that. Is that a thing?
I think it's newer for newer people getting married and don't have as much money to spend on weddings. So you do a stop the bar party, so at least you get all your liquor and, or maybe just stock a bar at your house. I don't know, but that was my interpretation when I've heard of the stop the bar
I'll
party.
be drinking bourbon for dinner.
Do you like bourbon?
No,
I don't know much about bourbon.
I don't know anything about bourbon. I asked her okay, so that was tonight's plan. And then tomorrow, should I be
don't worry about tomorrow. Just go ahead and do your tonight since you were supposed to be there.
By the way, on the stand, she was like, I've never bought bourbon before. I didn't know. Now here she's saying I'm going to drink it for dinner. So that's that's interesting to me.
Basically now.
And
And
I
I
just
would
feel
wait.
like I shouldn't be going about my life as if it were normal. Like the kid, I don't know how to do
Well,
this.
and then you know what?
do
You're
this.
going to be able to call your parents soon. And then I think once your parents get here, they'll kind of be able to help guide you on what's
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
So don't worry about canceling tomorrow's plan. You have a bunch of time to do that in between. And this is, the most important thing in keeping yourself the least amount of stress.
Well, doesn't she have to cancel because she's moving?
Sane, unstressed, whatever word you want to use.
So Robin kept telling me I had to call Jimmy. Should I call?
Who's Jimmy?
Jimmy is my divorce attorney. So
And Robin's your
sorry,
friend.
Robin's
That's
a
not
good friend.
Was Robin the one that you were at lunch with?
No.
I would just, again, I don't think
Why
that
don't I
might
send an
be.
email to Jimmy Judkins and just ask if I heard there was an urgent matter. Do you need something?
If that would make you feel better, that's fine. Were you guys going through any new thing with your divorce?
I mean, I have a meeting that was coming up. So basically what happened is when we got divorced last summer,
Here we go.
when we got divorced last summer, the settlement agreement was that Danny really wanted to stay in the house. So the agreement was that he would stay in the house and he would pay me my half of the house. He had until like mid-October to do it. He just didn't do it. And so I asked him, like, where's the money? Like, what happened? And he said, I have compelling reasons and I'm not paying it. And I said, well, what are the reasons? And he said, I'm not telling you. So I rehired my attorney and we filed a motion in court. It just keeps going on and on. But anyway, it's like taking forever. You're a victim advocate. It's taking forever to get through court. It's teaching me to have a lot more patience as an attorney. But we have like a meeting coming up soon. It was supposed to be the 24th, and then Jimmy just moved it to the 30th or 31st. So that's why I feel like, what's the urgency if it's not about this? Like, what would he need to talk about?
When did he start sending this email?
This, like, I'd
Or
actually,
voicemail or
I got one from Robin at 5 and one at 6. And that's unusual. And she's not like,
and I don't know, what's Rob, but she might have inklings of what's going on, and she might be you need to contact an attorney. But again, you're not being, looked at as a suspect. They're just clearing.
well, I'm trying to help. I mean,
And you have been, and I think you and Investigator Isom have been able to communicate well with each other and everything.
okay, so this.
I've been trying to help. Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
when we
super
had our
helpful.
hearing with the judge about whether Danny needed to pay me, the judge was like, you need to pay her the money. Like, I'm going to hold you in contempt of
Which
court.
judge is it? I know they just changed all the judges.
They
over
do.
there.
So it was Judge Hobbs.
Before.
So like Judge Hobbs at that hearing, she was like, I'm gonna put you in jail, like pay her the money.
Right.
And he was like, well, Your Honor, I have, I'm gonna file a motion for full custody of the kids, and I'm gonna file a motion for, he never did that, but like a motion for sanctions against Wendy's attorney, who's Kristen Adelson. So Kristen was my attorney, and so because he filed sanctions against my attorney, Kristen was like, I can't represent you anymore. I need to represent myself. Like, I need to be a witness in your case because he's impugning my professional reputation. So Kristen hooked me up with Jimmy to be my attorney instead. And so now Jimmy's my attorney. And so we're trying to now I've got Jimmy writing to me and Kristen and trying to work this all out. But they wrote this at 3:44. Clearly they had no idea because all it says is basically we have a new judge and I think this is good news. And here's some stuff we have to do on our case.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, then, if they wrote it at 3:44 and they have no idea, then what's the question? Should I call them?
And she specifically said in this email, it's because we have a new judge. Why do you need to call them?
Whereas the other call said this is an emergency.
But
no, I don't want to call him.
No, we don't need to call him. What is she doing?
She's being
Yes.
Skip it.
I don't think you really need to be stressed. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
And I think when time comes, I think anyone that's been trying to reach you about anything will understand completely and entirely why.
What's going on?
Yes.
God, one of the other, there's like a young faculty member at the law school, this guy Mark, who had a heart attack. Mark is like 33 or 34. I did yoga with him. He's like super fit, healthy. He just had like a congenital heart defect. So, he's fine. He's actually alive. He made it. He's okay. But,
What are we talking about
the
now?
whole law school is like, oh my God, like
Very
what
low
happened?
stress.
I literally have no idea why
So
this
I've
is
been
coming
also
up.
twice, and it says it's from Park City. That's where his wife is from. So either he never changed his cell phone. That's possible. He either never changed. I've never talked to Manuel outside of school. So either.
And he's the dean of the law school?
He's not. So there's like the dean in charge of everything, and then there's like the academic dean.
Okay, because the law school is pretty much separate. I mean, it is part of the university, but it like has its own academic deans and all those type of.
Did you go to FSU?
I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do the one book, one campus thing when you were there? Did they pick a book? Did you go undergrad or master's? Or?
Both.
Yeah. Were you in social work?
I was.
We're back to being best friends.
She was blabbering, crying, and so sad. I'm just so sad. I'm so hurt. And now
I'm
it's
so
like
scared.
what? Oh, and so scared. What different personality I'm seeing here. This is weird. Oh my
I
god.
graduated fall.
But
Is she just trying to make small talk just like to fill the air, or like I don't know where any of these stories are coming from. What was the heart attack guy about?
if I wanted to get out of someplace, I would be like, when am I getting out of here? Like,
Can I just leave?
Yeah, I'm done now. I'm not being held. Here's my phone. I'm going now. Call my lawyer,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I need to go to the hospital. I need to get my kids. I need to hug my kids. They just lost their father, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the social
Wow.
worker is in the league, no awareness of psychopathy, much less identifying Wendy as a murderer. Yeah. Yeah, quite mundane for Wendy because it's been planned for 2 years. And she's saying to the social worker, I don't know how to do this. In other words, I don't know how to perform. Those were interesting choices of words.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do this? What do I do next? I guess she didn't think it through this far. Maybe she didn't count on being there for 5 hours. Tops.
It's Jeff's phone number.
I have this work number and cell phone. The work number would be
Who is that?
the Bainbridge, Georgia. I bet you that's the Greenbergs and Cairo that I was saying, Alex and Maya. Do you think we should talk to them?
Not right now.
Like what?
294.
So that's his.
What? The what?
294 would be
Send
his
them?
cell. The other number would be his office number.
Would she send somebody a present or something?
All the news is already on.
Now look at her right now.
What's
Well,
up?
Okay, well, just right before that, she's like
Yeah. Oh.
staring at his face, making the baby
Oh.
faces. I'm a little baby. And she's always got her lips slightly open, making it seem
Okay.
like a baby. Like it seems like she's open, but it's just her, I'm just a baby look.
all they just know, I don't know
A
what they
shooting on
put out.
Trescott, I
Yeah,
think.
that's basically what's going to happen.
Okay.
Shooting
My
on,
kids are not going to see the news, so
she just said the shooting on Trescott, I think, not that Dan was shot.
I'm not worried about that. I guess you're just telling the story.
No, I'm saying that's probably why these people are trying to
Are
get a hold
calling.
of you now.
Yeah.
I need to go back. I need a timeline here.
Mhm.
What time did you wake up this morning?
A little before 8. I know that because the repairman was supposed to be here between 8 and 12, and I didn't set an alarm. So I woke up like, oh God, put some clothes on and get ready.
Okay, what at 8 o'clock?
He called, or like my mom called. I could see what time the calls came in, but let's see, starting this morning. Yeah, my mom called at 8:09. And then the repair guy called at 8:08, and then my mom called at 8:09. I guess he called her to.
Oh my gosh, turn off the sound.
Right. Can't we not mute the sound?
Sorry. So yeah, so then the repair guy called, and I don't remember exactly what time he got there, but like between 8 and 9, probably closer to 9.
Okay, what time did he leave?
Around 10. He could probably tell you, like he'll have a record of what time he
Okay.
called in to figure out whether to repair it or buy a new one.
Okay.
So he'll have a record of his calls too.
Okay, before 10 a.m.? A little before 10 a.m. he
Yeah.
left. Okay. And then you went back to working on papers and so forth?
Yeah, I was making some breakfast. I remember I was making oatmeal, so it was taking a while. It was like that kind that you have to stir for a long time. And I was talking to Charlie, so there's my call to Charlie, and then I called Renee, my friend who's interviewing for a job at FSU today. She was driving in, and I wanted to wish her good luck and see if I could meet her for a hug at some point today.
Okay.
So that was at 10:24. I called my friend Tova back at 11:22. I think I was just, in between working on the paper, being distracted.
So between 10:24 and 11:22, all right, 10:24, you're talking to Renee.
I talked to her for 18 minutes.
Okay, so now we're up to 10:24, 4:24 plus 18, we're at 40.
Because she has the phone on her, so she's getting her alibi.
I mean, but really, if I wasn't, if I was in that situation and they said, okay, look at your phone log, I wouldn't be saying I spoke to this person for X number of minutes. I mean, I don't even know how to figure that out. Like maybe I do, but I never had to. It's like I spoke to her for 18 minutes. Okay.
42?
42?
Yeah. Then I went back to working. And then I tried Danny again. I left a message at 11:42 a.m.
Great, Barbara.
27 seconds.
Her brother and her
left him a message.
And this is out at your house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm getting down to this, I'm trying to whittle this down with what they pulled from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever leave your house before you went to the liquor store and got turned around on Prescott?
No.
Never left?
No.
Okay. And so at 10:42, you're done with the call from Renee.
Yeah.
And you don't make another call again, according to what I have here. You call Tova
At 11:22.
at 11:22. So between 10:42.
I worked for a total of like 20 minutes. It's a good thing I'm not on a timesheet.
Okay. So from 10:42.
And you know what? If you took my computer, you could probably find records of like what time I saved the document. And I'd be happy to sign a waiver so you could look at my computer.
Oh, again, like who would think of that? If you look at
because she has to have an alibi.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm just only somebody who would
think to have a planned alibi.
Correct.
Yes. No.
Yeah, that is just.
No, I get what you're saying.
Right, and some questions about whether her friend Tova knew. Well, let's just put it this way: she mentioned to more than one person about. Ha ha ha, it's such a distasteful joke that my brother has looked into a hitman because but buying a TV would be cheaper. So she would have at least known that, I would think, because she's her best friend.
Okay.
So people are asking a lot of really.
2 to 11:22, you're working on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you remember the call to Tova.
Mm-hmm.
And that was,
I just left her. She had called. I was just returning her call,
okay.
So I just left a message. And then I tried Danny. I left him a call. I worked in between. Once again, it would be good. I'll get you my computer if you want to take a look at the documents.
I just have to validate all of this. That's all. So
and you could probably go to my email records, which you should have. When you guys did the phone, you did the email records, so you would have of like what time I sent messages.
Were you sending email messages during those times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between 10:42 and 11:22.
I think so, because I don't remember exactly what time, but before I left the house at noon, I sent off the like edits, like the citations to the law school library to have someone look at my citations on this paper that's due that I no longer care about.
Okay. And so how can we say,
Posture is weird.
do you have some way of showing
I
a
can look
timeline of when
I sent email.
when you left the house?
Oh yeah. So the only thing I have that is well, the only thing that I guess I have is I was waiting to call back this colleague of mine, Joe Davis, and I called him from the car at 12:27, and he was the first call I made as I was pulling out of the driveway. So that was like 12:27.
That's leaving the house.
That was leaving the house. So I got into the car, I put on my earpiece, I called Joe, and Joe was busy with a colleague. And then I was returning phone calls. I called back this woman, Laura, that was at 12:29. And then I called my friend, Jeff Skopek, who's
So I just had a thought.
in Boston,
Pause for a
just had
second.
baby, and so I was catching up with him about his baby.
I was chatting in the comments. Sorry.
No,
ahead.
you're fine. You know how we keep saying like, or you keep saying how she looks so disheveled, however you say that word, compared to what she normally would look.
Yes.
Well, she just made that comment about how she woke up and just threw on some clothes.
Uh-huh.
But she had all this time between 10 and now 12:30. Why didn't she stop at any time to take the time to put herself together?
Right.
Like, is it because she needed to have that alibi and there could be no unaccounted time? Like, hey, I was in the shower at this point, or do you know what I mean?
Right.
But then there would be no emails, or there would be no texts, or there would be no calls during that time.
Right.
Maybe that's why she never got herself together for her little lunch.
Yeah, or maybe she was walking around in a different neighborhood. Had to run back.
True. Very true.
She did seem to know what happened.
Yeah.
Without being told.
And we were on the phone about 16 minutes.
Maybe.
I was on the phone with him on the way to the liquor store.
Joe Davis was the one at 12:27.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dan. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually spoke with Joe. Laura, I left a message, and then Jeff I spoke with for a while, and then the connection cut out. I went into the liquor store. I tried him back again. We talked for a few minutes. Connection cut out again, and I was like, I'm at lunch. I'll just call him back later.
Okay. When you went to the liquor store, did you already know what you're going to get, or you had to?
Yeah, I had the name of, I don't know bourbon, but I was supposed to go to this party tonight. It's like a stock the bar party, and so I asked my friend what do they like, and she wrote down the name of the type of bourbon. So I went in the store to get Bulleit bourbon, and so I asked the guy in the store
Bulleit
bourbon.
Yeah, Bulleit. Yeah, I asked my friend, and they had to, and I typed it out. So much information here. So much.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned in the comments that she's looking like a rat, like a rodent, with the way her posture, and I agree. It is a very weird, look, and we've been looking at it for now 4 hours, so more than 4 hours. And there's this thing that Greg from the behavior panel calls turtling. And so what happens is people want to make themselves look smaller. They're also protecting their vital organs, that kind of thing. So she seems to be doing that. I don't know if you all remember back when she was young, she was on some game show and she said, I want to be a giraffe. She wanted to get they asked, what would you like to be? And she's like, I wanted to be a giraffe. Maybe she's tall and she's trying to make herself small. She's a little bit awkward and geeky looking. If you look at my thumbnail for today's show, I showed the full length police photograph from this day. And she is kind of like, she doesn't have a real, she's definitely not a petite woman. Let's put it that way. Okay. So, yeah, she said she called Dan, but it went to voicemail, unfortunately. And you would think even just looking at that would evoke some kind of emotion, like, oh, I'm holding, it's like, nothing.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, her and Charlie look a lot alike.
So
I think.
Showed it to me and I found it.
Okay. So he pointed out where the bourbon was.
Yeah.
And you go there and you just grab the brand that's familiar by the name?
Yeah, that's what they said they wanted, so.
Okay, so you didn't discuss with the
Again,
clerk what?
she doesn't just say, yeah, that's what they said they wanted. So, like, it's very clear. She's pointing out a couple of times here that I had nothing to do with this bourbon choice. Like, who would have, nobody cares.
Was this good? Was
No.
it bad?
The only thing I said I discussed is I walked over and he was like, "Can I see your ID?" And I was like, "Oh, why are you laughing? I could be 18." I was like, and so I was like, "I love to be asked how old I am." I'm like, "I'm old as dirt. Here you
Okay.
go." And so I handed it to him and he's like, "You're not old."
Okay.
So anyway, we had like a little banter and he was like, "Your eyes are so blue." And I was like, "Thank you." And then I left.
Again, with the blue eyes.
Will you put his name underneath there, please?
This is so creepy.
Just print his name.
So creepy. That's an interesting.
That looks like him as a student. I wonder if that's like.
Oh, will you sign it as you're saying that's who Jeff LaCasse is?
Do you want me to like?
Just sign your name and the
Oh.
date.
Okay.
So who wants us to do Jeff,
I just want to confirm
Okay.
who this
Jeff's
person
interviews
is.
next?
Call your
Or
voice.
something on Murdoch's? What else
I don't want to make that call.
I know, but
I know. I just
you
like.
can wait if you want to.
No,
I feel like
just-
I was holding you up. So.
You were, and I
I was, okay.
No, I mean I want them here. I don't want to tell them what happened and what's going on because they're very emotional.
Well,
And
Make sure they're not driving.
well,
or
that's
doing
the thing
anything.
is like they're gonna now get in the car for 8 hours and come up and
Are they both very emotional? Is one more emotional? than
my
the
mom's more emotional. My dad's more of a straight shooter.
okay.
Well, people must really know now because I just got a text from someone that said, "I know everyone's calling you right now, but could this really be happening?"
I just talked with Alan and he asked me, he was gonna take the kids by the house to get some clothes and said that they have a key but don't know your alarm code.
I didn't set the alarm when I left.
Okay, that makes
But
it easy.
if it goes off, it's 10:13.
Okay, and we spoke with the hospital. We've spoken with his dad. We did make contact with him. One of the other victim advocates was able to make contact with him. I don't know all the ins and outs of the
I'm
conversation.
sure he's devastated.
He's apparently in Colorado,
Oh,
or in Aspen, or he's in Aspen, is at least what I understood.
well, at least he's closer.
Right.
Well, I don't know if that's any.
I was gonna say, the nurse at the hospital,
Yeah.
the rabbi was up there and I'm sorry.
That's not. Oh, it doesn't.
I
matter.
know.
It doesn't matter.
I
I know
know.
why I'm correcting you. I'm sorry.
And I realized that when I called Jane, I was like, wait, I wrote that wrong.
I'm
Was
sorry,
talking
pause.
Something about the rabbi and didn't know.
Okay.
She's finally getting information that she's been asking about, and she finally heard that we got in touch with his parents, and there's nothing.
Nothing.
There's such little. There was, oh, I'm sure he's devastated.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And then she's finally like, okay, and I was going to tell you about the nurse. Oh, but you spelled that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. She interrupts her to correct spelling on her own paper
Right. And did you pick up that?
instead of
Go ahead.
finally hearing about Dan.
Right. Nothing here. I'd be like,
Nothing.
it's a neat, like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for, you know.
Yeah, tell me. Please tell me he's okay. Tell me.
Okay. Even if the person who,
What can I
okay,
do? Tell me.
let's just say,
No.
let's just say this wasn't your ex-husband and this was maybe your neighbor. And for some reason you got called in to be questioned about, you know, just as an interview, we're just talking to everybody that knows this person. Your number came up on their phone from last time, whatever, not your ex-husband that you're embroiled in all this legal stuff. Wouldn't you, even if it wasn't somebody you were close to at one time, wouldn't you still be like, oh, what happened? Like, what's going on? Oh,
Yes.
you called their parents? Oh my gosh. You know, I mean, it's just not what
You
you
got a
would,
hold of their parents. Are they doing okay?
right.
Can I talk to them? Can I reassure them?
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Mhm.
Okay.
What?
I'm sorry. Phil was talking. His dad was talking.
No, the nurse at the hospital,
Yeah.
and this was prior to me getting them in contact about what type of Jewish, whatever he practices. Okay.
He calls himself Flexodox, so he's like he's Orthodox-ish.
Again,
That's why the rabbi is a good choice. The one that's here.
Was that?
like, what is, can't we just get out? You've been asking. We want an update from the hospital. She's trying to tell you. And again, you're interrupting her with all this nonsense.
Right.
Unimportant nonsense.
Right. And that could show, that's a really good point, because that could show she doesn't really want to hear it. She already knows, for one thing, but she doesn't want to hear it. I mean, who would want to hear it? Yeah. It's very abnormal.
Here,
Okay.
Boyerman.
Okay.
He's like his
Okay.
denomination.
He is there. Okay.
So, and he's at the hospital.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, and that's what I thought. And my conversation with him is, oh yes, very familiar. And then when I talked to the nurse, so we may have been talking about two different people,
Do we have
because
an update on what's going on medically? Like,
I didn't even ask because I know somebody else is dealing with that. And my understanding is,
Okay, in case you hadn't heard, because the quality of the video we're playing is a little rough, but she said, can I have an update on what's going on medically?
Yeah. She doesn't care about who's there. She doesn't care about, and just random details.
Right. And I would say, can I have an update medically is a bit different than saying, can I find out how he's doing? Like, what's he feeling? Like, what's he going through right now? I need, I want to know that. It's a very, like, as if she's a doctor or something, asking, can I find out, the medical details? It was really strange. A bunch more in the chat. Sorry, I was looking at the video. So
he's in ICU.
Hi, everyone.
Last I heard, was he was probably not going to survive. But they are trying to work out the organ donor aspect of
right.
that whole thing.
And you told his dad this?
Yes.
Wait,
Okay. Yeah.
what did she just say?
I didn't hear it. I was looking at the comments. Let me go back.
Okay, sorry.
My mom's more emotional. My dad's more of a straight shooter.
Okay.
It's hard to go back.
My conversation with him is, oh yes, very familiar. And then when I talked to the nurse, so we may have been talking about two different people, because
Update on what's going on medically. Like,
I didn't even ask because I know somebody else is dealing with that. And my understanding is he's in ICU. Last I heard, was he was probably not going to survive. But they are trying to work out the organ donor aspect of that whole thing.
And you told his dad this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are.
And is he coming? Is he?
Well, and Melanie spoke with him, and I hadn't had a chance to sit down and talk with her since, because I was on the phone. I was trying to give the nurse a heads up to say, hey, just so you know, we've talked to the dad. He's going to be calling, so that random person didn't call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
did Alan say the kids needed clothes? Like,
well,
they can just sleep in their closet.
Well, and he didn't know how long you were going to be, and stuff like that. And Jane called and said when you are ready to go, she would like to come up here and go with you if she need, just so you're not going by yourself. That type.
Am I allowed to take my car?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Did they keep the keys or?
I don't know if
I know she had the keys.
Hi,
Did you
Judy.
ever get them from? Did someone take the keys?
Jim did.
Okay,
Mhm.
sorry.
He may not have given them back. I'll double check. Again, we're all doing different things, so I may have missed something, but I'll double check.
Okay, yeah, I don't have the keys. I'm gonna call my parents. Okay.
And y'all spoke with Isom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Do you need anything? Are you hungry?
So what part did you say? What did she say? Did you get through that?
Oh, yep, I got it. Yeah.
What was it?
She just asked if they had told his parents yet about him not making it.
She finally got to it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And anyone who wants me to pause, just like Katie is asking me to pause, just type pause and I'll do it in the video so you can tell us what you're seeing.
I know some people won't. All right.
Oh, one thing I did want to take note of is earlier when he talked, excuse me, when Isom mentioned about Dan's organ donation card, she really was repulsed by that. And they just brought it again up just here. And she looked like she was like visibly like
Yeah.
nauseated by that. So interesting that part would get to her. Yeah. Just noting
And
that.
again, she was told he's not going to make it, and there was no.
You're gonna be upset.
They're
Nothing.
very angry.
Oh, now we're crying.
Like,
Well,
this isn't like
But
like
you
it's
know-
their son, but he's the father of my kids, and this
They're
is a very
Oh,
part of my language
they
fucked up
agree.
situation.
I said that
Don't
earlier.
really push it off. I would, you know what? When I was talking,
Can you imagine how different this video would be, this interrogation would be, if the police did what they often do
And lie.
and lie to get information? Can you imagine? Well, he's in the hospital, but he's expected to survive, and we'll probably be able to speak to him tonight. Oh,
She would have ran out the door.
well, she knew better because she saw it, I think, my opinion. Does anyone else think she
Sure.
saw it?
I let them, first because you're upset, so let them know that I'm okay.
Yeah.
As in you're okay.
Well, that's why I
and
need to
then-
call them, because my mom would be like, "What happened?" Like if the
Right.
police called, my mom would lose her shit.
Right, and that's we always try to get people there in person or get
Yeah.
so just say Danny.
7 o'clock already. I have to see my kids before they go to bed. I'm sure they're not gonna want to go to bed without me, but like.
And I'm sure they're gonna be hyped up a little bit because they're
Dan's family must have been shocked when they saw this video. Guess who else
Ugh.
must have been shocked? Jeffrey LaCasse and Charlie Adelson
like, oh my god,
Oh my god.
and everyone else she threw under
this
the
is not a
bus.
normal situation, and things are gonna happen a little bit abnormal. And,
No, I know. I'm just picturing like.
and part
Sorry,
of it-
pause.
I don't know anything.
Okay.
So the emotions are coming about her family, her mom and dad finding out about Dan. Not about Dan dying, not about his family.
Right.
This crying is because she's worried about how her parents are going to react.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very misguided. What emotions she does have are quite misguided. J. Marie, we love this so much. Yeah, I thought about it too early on. It's like, why did they tell her so much? Like,
Yeah.
And someone else, Angela says Columbo would have lied to catch the killer. Yeah. Let alone that it's 8 years later now and she still hasn't been arrested. Barbara says she's crying because he's still alive. I do think she's nervous about that. And I think she's nervous about some other things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 6 p.m. when Dan's parents found out. Yep. And that's Toronto time, which is the same as Florida time, I think. You guys can let me know in the comments if I'm not right on that. But leave.
And like, I should not have to go through this. They're so little.
But you know what? Kids are resilient, and sometimes the younger they are, the more resilient they are. And you, I can tell already, are a compassionate and strong woman. And better than all that too is you've got an awesome support system, whether it be your family or just you've got a ton of people calling you. You've got a network, so you'll have people to help be strong for you.
You've got a phone.
People must be figuring this out. I just got a call from Karen, who's friends with Robin, who used to live here but isn't working now. And Shira just got a call from Robin, who works on I mean, these people, my attorney's calling me because he wants to make sure that
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Does your
like, I don't
I don't think you should be worried.
I know, like, I don't have to call him. Right?
Yeah, and you know what? And I think if anything, it's probably maybe someone concerned for you that's calling him and maybe setting him up to this, and he's just
That's like your attorney, but he's not like my criminal defense
right.
attorney.
Because
He's
it's
just
just you criminal defense.
I have no
Right.
idea.
So
Can't hear. They're just probably
attorney, so
well,
you know your rights very well, probably.
like this one woman.
And I think it's just more for you to be concerned.
You have to ask somebody who's probably younger than her with half the life experience what she should be doing. That's just part of that baby persona, which Harley loves so much. Sorry about this sound. We're gonna get through it. Oh, I hate that sound. I just want to jump in. Harley is laughing because I did a short. I put out a short last night and I used that. I don't know, Katie, have you heard? And those in the audience, have you seen any of those videos? Like people do it with their puppies and their cats, and they're like, the puppy is saying something, it's a human voice, and then they pipe in with this, "I'm just a baby." Do you know that one? It's like it's going around on all TikTok, all the shorts and stuff. So yeah, so I pulled that out and I used it with a fun short last night. So Harley thought it was hilarious.
They're probably kind of hearing. And they're looking for you for
Hearing
confirmation.
you, like, so you heard that, like,
What I will tell you, the police station hasn't released anything. You know, obviously the scene person knows, has an inkling, whatever the case
how
may
did
be.
he know? Something must be going on. How would all of these people know?
Bingo, Angela. All of a sudden, she's not crying anymore.
So short. So short.
So that was this.
I mean, I will say the news does have the block. They do
Yeah.
have the street,
And
and
some
then
people are figuring it out. Well, Tracy knew that it was him,
Mhm.
and she's calling the hospital. So how did Tracy know?
and I will say that the
Oh,
police.
Facebook. They're all probably talking to each other on Facebook.
I mean, people communicate.
No, I know, but like,
Mhm.
and
And then they're all probably trying to call him and say, "Hey, where you at? What are you doing?" And
right.
then
And so he's not responding, and he's always very responsive. They must have each other's contact on Facebook and then be connecting with each other.
And then
I mean, why does she care?
She'll try to contact the police department.
Appearances. Judy just gave us some breaking news here. And of course I didn't see it because I'm here. Judy says, LJ said, who's LJ? Who's LJ? Oh, LJ. I know who LJ is. Okay. LJ, said that Katie, let me put it up here, was taken out of jail to go to court today. So perhaps a grand jury has been assembled, and now they would need a grand jury to indict a named unindicted conspirator.
Yeah.
That this case is
Wow.
Wendy and Donna. So maybe there will be more arrests later or this week or next week. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Everyone's so excited. Sorry about that.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
We're not telling anyone anything. They'll try to contact the hospital. Hospital's like, no.
Here comes cheesy. Okay, I'm gonna call my parents. I have no idea what to say because I don't even know that he's dead. I just
You
know
don't.
that he has
but-
been shot, and
But all signs of what everyone's telling you. I mean, when they start talking, sorry to be blunt, organ donation.
I know that's
It's
the one that
not-
really.
He's kind of.
Okay, so I just want to tell them what happened and that I need them here,
And
that
they're
I'm
gonna come
fine
up
and
here
the kids
probably.
are fine.
Mhm. And let them know, you know, when they ask, say the kids are with Lynn and Alan. I'm gonna probably be seeing them relatively soon.
I will, right? I'll be out of here soon. Yeah, okay.
I know it's
It's
probably
so
you're in
creepy
like
to see Jeff's picture. Like it looked like a weird mugshot. Like, can you? Dear God.
Why is it so creepy to see Jeff's picture? When Isom brought Jeff's LaCasse's excuse me, picture for Wendy to sign off on, she said, "This is really creepy." And now she's saying again, why is it so creepy all of a sudden to see his picture?
When she's the one throwing him under the bus.
It's just weird, like creepy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
nervous.
No,
Maybe
I just like I think it's
realize
shock
too much.
reaction. You know, right? Shock reaction.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm a shaker when I get upset. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I usually shake. I really don't. Okay, here it goes.
This might be a good time to pause before we.
Okay. Yeah. I really
Right?
don't usually shake. Well, most people don't. Like, again, calling attention to herself.
Yeah.
Of course you're shaking. Somebody got shot. Like, dude, of course you're going to shake. Why are we talking about this? Okay. So it is 7:08 p.m., July 18th, 2014.
She's calling her parents.
Yes, I kind of wanted to get through the call real quick, but you don't want to do that.
Oh, do it then. No.
Okay,
Get through the call. Yep.
All right, let's get to the call because then we're.
I didn't know if more was going to be. Yeah.
I want to see your impression now.
Oh, boy.
Well, because if we start with it next week, you're gonna like you're into it right now, into the flow. Here it is, the big call.
Maybe I should text them if I can't reach them. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Mom, I need you to sit down. I am fine. The boys are fine. I need you to sit down. I'm fine, and the boys are fine. Danny has been. You can put me on speaker. Yeah. Danny has been shot. And I don't think he's gonna make it. And so I know. So I found this out around 1 or 2 today, and I'm at the police station, and I'm trying to help them figure out who may have done this. The boys are fine. I had Lynn and Alan pick them up from school, and they're with Lynn and Alan right now. And I'm gonna leave here soon and go be with them. But I really need you to come here and be with me. But I want you to either fly, obviously you can't leave right now, but I need you to get yourself together. If it's too much to drive, I'd really rather that you flew up. I'm at the police station, and I'm gonna leave soon and be with the boys before they go to bed. They're with Alan and Lynn, and they're totally fine. Yeah, the boys are fine, but they don't know anything yet. In his house, I know. I know. So I just need you to calm down before you get in the car, okay? Okay, so, and it's, it's evening, so if you wanna come here tomorrow, I have a lot of people that'll, be here with me, and, we'll have a lot of support. So I want you to take your time and just be safe in getting here, but I'd like you to come when you can, okay? Okay, all right. I love you. I think Jane might, I have the car here, but Jane might take me. I'm not gonna be alone, so I have a lot of support, and I'll be fine. Yeah, if you could just come here, that would be great. He's in the ICU in the hospital. Okay, but be careful, okay? Okay. 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 Love you too. Bye. Mom. Oh.
You did awesome with that call.
Thanks.
You were so stressed out about it, and you handled it.
I just wanted you, I talked to Alan, okay?
Okay.
There is once again no emotion, none. It's Dan's been shot and I need you to come. Okay, thanks, bye. And it's all about me. The same thing that you see over and over and over and over with Wendy. That's all she gave was Dan's been shot. I'm fine. The boys are fine. Everything's going to be okay. Dan's been shot, but I'm okay. Everything's fine. Just be safe. Be careful. Worry about yourself.
Right.
How? How does one do that?
Well, and even the social worker said you did really well with that. You think
creepy.
That's creepy. Yeah. That's creepy.
I feel like my emotions would be so off the chart trying to explain to my parents that my ex-husband, wow.
Yeah. It's rather composed for the situation.
That's an understatement. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she definitely
Wow.
has different, personas that she calls upon for different occasions. And um so would you say that this might have been rehearsed? Scripted?
I don't know. Because it's also like, it's the same personality that we've been seeing the whole time. So I don't know if it was.
Well, we don't
What do you
know. We don't know, but
what do
I
you think?
I would think that if it's true that they planned this for a long time, and a lot of these details would have had to have been planned for ahead of time, I would think it's reasonable to think that this would have been also planned for, at least the idea that what not to say and what to say type of thing.
Yes. Yes.
And because this family also had little, Jeffrey LaCasse mentioned right away that the family is very secretive, and that it was found out that they speak in codes a lot of times. And Norla
Sure.
brings up, can you put me on speaker equals code, be careful what you say, right? Obviously, I'm on
Sure.
speaker, I'm in the police station, you're on speaker. And JPJ says, yeah, we would have freaked out telling our parents. Harley said, that's a good point. Norla, yay, zero emotion.
Yeah.
Zero emotion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And JPJ does. She thinks it was planned out. I feel like so many of these things were thought out about ahead of time and practiced, rehearsed. Rehearsal really does help in a lot of ways, like for
Mhm.
anything that we have to do in life. So it's just too much here that seems like she knew way more and she knew ahead of time.
Yes.
It just really seems like it.
Yeah.
All right. So we
Yeah.
got 712. The call to the parents have made. The social workers are the victim advocate. Same diff is saying, hey, you handled that really well. And she didn't burst out crying or anything. She's like, yeah, I got this. Like, so we're going to find out what happens next. We're getting there to the end.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier, let Katie and I let us know, either here in the comments or on any of because I post daily little shorts and things like that. After we're done with, well, of course, it depends on how this news goes. Maybe this week we might have some news, but what you like us to cover next? What police interview, interrogation, trial? If it's this case or another case, is it the Murdoch case? Is it? Yeah. So let us know. Yeah, Jennifer's super happy to hear about the update. So happy, and evidently it came from LJ, who is in the know on some of these things. JPJ says, yeah, they talked at length for months. It seems like it to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that Donna would have known she was going to get that call. Grand jury, I like the sound of that. That would have been.
Gosh.
That would have been. Yes, and also thank you to Mentor Lawyer for providing this interrogation video, for Behavior Panel for getting me interested in this kind of thing so I can chat to all you new friends about it. It's just, I didn't know, I just felt like I had to do this. I had this burning desire. I want to go through this interrogation video with people. I want to go through it again with a fine-tooth comb, and I can't wait till the Behavior Panel weighs in. But as we know, they have a 1-hour show and they cover a different person. So they're not going to, this alone is 5 hours of interviewing. Then we have her testimonies as well.
Gosh.
So a lot of interesting body language there, but really, really, really polished. She practiced. Would they sign? Carol asks, would they sign out Katie to court if she's just going to talk to the prosecution? Interestingly enough, the last paperwork I saw said out to court. I can't remember under which. I'll find it. But that could be just like that she's there and that the court has taken over custody, like responsibility for her. I'm not sure. I think Judy, I'm not sure, Judy, if you're still there, but Carol's wondering, would they sign her out of court if she's just going to talk? Angela says yes. JPJ, shout out to mentor lawyer. Yay, for sure. Some great people in this community. I'm so glad to know you all, and thanks for being so supportive of what we're doing here. I'm having fun with it. I love seeing in your comments when I do my shorts, especially. I just had a lot of fun with the. I try not to make fun of people, even bad people. I really try not to. So, the one I did yesterday was just kind of silly. I'll have to show it to Katie. I don't think you've seen it yet. Have you, Katie?
No, I'll go through and look at it.
But yeah, and it kind of came out of me like, I want to hear what LaCasse said in his interview too, because this is what's next. And his interview is a few days later because he's still out of town at this time. But the one thing that really impressed me was that LaCasse said, the last thing Wendy said to me, and this was after we were breaking up and everything. Oh, hey, Jeff. He was walking away from yoga in the parking lot or whatever. Oh, Jeff, are you going to be here Friday? And he's like, that was really, he thought it was weird at the time because they were breaking up.
Yeah, why would she care?
Exactly.
And it's a no contact order, so I don't want anything to do with you. And then
an hour later by email. So which is it?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and Angela, this is what I thought. Angela, Katie has been out to court all last week and back at the detention center at night. So that makes sense. That's what I was thinking. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen what Judy broke with LJ, but I'm sure LJ brought something else on board that might imply that maybe a grand jury is being assembled. Hi, Skeeter girl. Hi, everyone. So it's not like they're assembling a grand jury. Well, Katie could be a witness for the grand jury. Possibly. She could be. Or they might just be assembling the grand jury based on Katie's proffer information. So it could be either. And that's what I mean. I don't care. I just want to see more arrests already. But who knows? If maybe Katie's going to come in and blow everything up and say, no, you're all wrong. I mean, let me clear this up. It's this and this and this. And actually, Sigfredo did this and that. I mean, is Sigfredo going to speak next? Is he going to offer something? Because he knows a lot. He's the one who actually shot Dan and was talking on the phone with Katie and talking about the lady and Wendy. There's some people who think the lady is actually Donna, even though Luis thinks it's Wendy.
Yeah.
And seem to know. So, yep. So, yay. So Carol says to talk to the prosecution and not a grand jury for any indictments. How do you know that, Carol?
I think she's asking if that's why Katie.
Okay.
Like, how do we know that Katie's going to court not just to talk to the prosecution versus going for a grand jury?
Yeah. Yeah. Please, Lord, let Sigfredo speak up next. Yes. And Angela says she thinks Sigfredo will talk. Glad you're enjoying the shorts and the shows. I'm not sure because I haven't seen what Judy saw. Baby LJ brought something else up into the community today, or maybe she's just going to a comment, or speaking to a comment. But either way, I don't know. I'm not your person for that kind of thing. I mean, I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to be up here saying something that's not, accurate. So. Yeah. But a lot. I have a feeling a lot's been done already that we'll find out later on. Barbara says behavior panel on Casey Anthony was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was really great too. Yeah. All right, everyone. So with that, Sigfredo, the truth shall set you free. If you're listening to this, we support truth tellers and just want justice, and that's it. Just want justice, and we don't think lies are what should make the world go around. So hats off to the prosecution in Tallahassee, Florida, right? It meant a lot to Dan. I mean, he was beloved in the legal community there. So all right, everyone. So are we going to be back Monday? Are your kids going to be home from school on Monday?
No.
Okay.
They're still got another they got this week and most of next week. So
all right.
Yes,
so we
next
might
Monday for sure.
So we might not, there might be a lot of interesting things happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday, who knows? And then also When we come back Monday, we can talk about those things, but maybe we can get to the last of this interrogation video. 1 or 2 shows left.
Yay!
So if you haven't seen all of the videos and you want to
Crazy.
check them out, this is in a playlist called Interro Talk, and then there's also a playlist for Interro Talk Shorts, which people are really having fun with. A little more digestible bites, a little at a time, like under 1 minute at a time, as opposed to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you all for being here. Let me just make sure. One more thing. Sigfredo does what Katie tells him to, right? And she's going to need some corroboration, right? This is what I'm thinking too. Plus, Sigfredo's appeals have failed, even though recently he filed a motion, but he's not getting out. He may not get out, but he may want to do what he can to support her having a reduced sentence because she is the mother of his 2 children. Yeah. So he might. Thank you, JPJ. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And everyone have a great week ahead of you. Katie, thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
I love it. All right.
Yay.
And let us know what you want me to cover in the next ones and us to cover in the next ones coming up. So if you have anything in mind, or if you're going to take like some time off for the holidays, let me know. So yeah. And everyone who's interested in the Murdoch case, let us know. I think many are watching both cases. So it's going to be interesting. And he's supposed to go to trial in January for the murder of that hasn't been changed. That hearing last week did not change the trial date.
Nope.
So we've got some interesting trials.
We got 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo! Whoa! Okay. All for justice. Justice for Dan in this case.
Yes.
Okay, everyone. Bye for now. Thanks again for being here. We'll see you next week.